Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining my channel. My name is Rocky, and if you're new, this is where we normally talk about fashion, lifestyle right here in my city of Chicago, and just a little bit of beauty, even though I've been talking a lot about beauty lately. But that all said, today is going to be a different video. We are talking all about Q&A, all of the things that all of you ask me on the side, and I thought I'd just answer it once and for all for everyone. The one thing I will say up front is that I wish my life was a lot more dramatic and salacious and but it ain't. So we're just gonna dig right into the questions. So one of the questions was about all the wish lists that I make. But the question was, what do I do with these wish lists? Do I actually ever get anything from these wish lists? Because I'm always talking about having these wish lists. And the answer is absolutely yes. I get a lot of the things from the wish list. One of my videos at the end of last year, I kind of went through and just did a huge audit and accounting of all the wish lists I've ever put together, and just to show you all of the things that I've gotten. And then I made a new one for 2024. And when I did, actually so far we're only into February, and I've already gotten 2 of those things from my wish list. And one was a full spa day, and another one was the Frederick Mall lipstick rose fragrance. So I've already gotten 2 things off of my long list of things that I want. So I definitely do something with those lists. They're not for fun. I actually do buy those things. The other question that I get quite a lot is, do I make a lot of money doing YouTube, or do I make any money? This is a combination of those questions. Do you make any money? Do you make a lot of money? You know, when you gonna share that money? But in all reality, I make very little money. I'm not monetized yet. And we've talked about this before when I've been on these heavy sprints of trying to get more viewership and more subscribers. And we've done really well on the subscribership front. It's just the, the engagement on the channel that's just not converting. So I'm struggling in terms of getting monetized. But above and beyond that, I do get sponsors. Outside of YouTube, people who kind of connect or see some synergy between my brand and their brand, and they feel like I can help promote their brand organically to people who would really love their brand. And so sometimes I'm very upfront with you if a brand sends me something, or if they've asked me to talk about something, I let you know that. But I don't ever like promote things just because I'm being paid to talk about it. It's just a fringe benefit. Usually these are brands that I've already talked about, and then the brand reaches out to me and say, hey, we see you love our product, would you mind doing this? So yes, I do, but not a lot. And as a matter of fact, my accountant yelled at me and said, if I don't start making more money, I'm gonna have to shut this down. So it'll probably become more of a hobby if I can't convert faster. But in all reality, I don't make very much. So I always get this question: how tall are you? Some people say I look really tall. Some people say I look really short. I don't know. I'm gonna let you guess in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you think I'm really tall or really short? I would like to think that I'm very tall. I would like to feel like, I'm at maybe above average height or average height. But in all reality, I'm considered short. I am 5 feet and a half inch. The last time I went to the doctor, and there's a story. Last time I went to the doctor, some way, somehow, I measured nearly 5'2", and I walked around tall and proud for a whole year. Came back this year, and somehow I'm back down to 5 feet and a half inch. I have no idea what happened, but I am not tall. So in some of my videos over the years, I've mentioned having health issues, and I don't know if I've been very clear or cryptic or whatever I've done, but I do have varying different things going on with my health, right? And the most superficial one is that I've talked about my skin, which I do have, adult acne, I do have eczema. So those are the things that I've talked about. So that's very superficial. And then not so superficial, I've talked about having anxiety, and I told you about this anxiety ring that I wear to kind of help with that. I've talked about my vasovagal syncope, which is where I have, everyone has a reaction in their body, like if they're in a lot of pain or really distressed, you can pass out. Mine is on overload. Every little thing that happens to me, I pass out quite easily, so I have to be very careful not to hurt myself or be in stressful situations, because I will pass out. And then the last one we talked about, I think during the pandemic, and that I was diagnosed with endometriosis and fibroids, and I live with chronic pain with that. And I've mentioned it here and there based on some products that I've picked up when I've hauled, but I want to just kind of set it straight and clear all the things that I kind of allude to but never really talk about. And you can Google what those are. I can probably list them in the description below, so you can Google, but that's my laundry list of things above and beyond just getting old. Some of you ask, am I a full-time YouTuber? Based on my first response about not making very much money, no, I am not a full-time content creator. I would love that. That would be a great life, because I enjoy talking to you and I love exploring the things that I love exploring. So yes, I would love to, but my real life, I worked in the tech industry for the last, I want to say 18 years, is that right? Something like that. In the last 18 years, I've worked in the tech industry. By trade, I have a degree in biology pre-med, but didn't land in that industry when I grew up. But nonetheless, that's what I do for a living. And it's not as fun and exciting as fashion, but definitely makes a good living. The other question is, am I married? Because I don't talk about my close-knit family very often. And yes, I am married. I've been married for a very, very long time. And my husband and I have actually even done videos on YouTube together. We've started a channel together, but we kind of let that go. But he's in and out of here. Sometimes you'll see him in the background moving around sometimes, or hear him talking. So definitely am married, happily married, long time married, all of the things. So I keep getting this every so often from all different parts of my life, not just from the YouTube community, but my real life community. And a couple years, 3 years back, I think it was 3 years, 2 years, whatever, you saw me going all around downtown Chicago looking for a new condo or a new place to live. And as you can see, my scenery has not changed. So that means I did not move. And the question is, are you still going to move? And the answer is yes. When? I'm not sure, because we've been taking our time to find the right place, the right price, all the things. It's a terrible idea to move when you're moving under duress, because you're going to make some mistakes. So we like to take our time. It took me a long time to find this place. It took me a long time to find the place before that. I like to take my time. If I were a regular customer, if I weren't a real estate broker myself, I think that any broker would fire me, because I take a long time. I'm very slow going when it comes to, finding a place to live. One big question I always get, what happens to all that stuff that you haul? And my mom can attest to this. She stands by and she's chomping at the bit for these things, because she loves to donate to those who need it more. But I wear a good amount of what you see. I don't buy it just for shits and giggles, honestly. But there are things that I end up never wearing, and there are things that are ill-fitting, or things that I just change my mind about and I don't like. So I will donate them. Some things I will return some of the things. So if you've never seen me wear it, it falls into one of these buckets. And then a lot of things I do giveaways to you, which reminds me, I have 6 giveaways that I've been trying to do. I did a video about it, and I'm going to link it here somewhere. Hopefully I remember to do that on the screen somewhere. And I'll link it down in the description below. I have a huge giveaway that I'm doing, but for some reason it did not land. The algorithms didn't like it and didn't show it to you all. I have a huge giveaway that I'm doing, 6 different opportunities to win. All you have to do literally is in the comments let me know that you're interested, and I'll do a drawing. But I haven't had a mass swelling of people to say that they want anything, so I still have them. So let's give it one more go, and this is your second chance. So I have another question. I haven't gotten this a lot, but I did toy or tinker with this idea, and that was to quit YouTube. I've been on YouTube for 6 years, and one of my biggest frustrations that I've shared with you is that I am still not monetized, and it felt a bit deflating. And I was just like, why am I doing this? What are we doing this for? And I do it for the joy of it, because I really do enjoy creating this content for you. And whether I turn on the camera or not, all of the things that I'm doing, I would be doing them anyway. So why not share it? So that's sort of my why. I just want to share with like-minded people and people who enjoy some of the same things that I enjoy. The way to usually feel like you're doing a good job is in the engagement that you get, like people are actually watching. And when people actually watch and they subscribe, your reward or your proof of that is being monetized on YouTube. So I just felt like it wasn't landing. I felt like I was failing, and I just felt very discouraged, and I wanted to quit YouTube. But once I started to see a little bit of improvement in the fruits of my labor, right? And got back to my why. Why am I doing this to begin with? And so I don't feel like I'm going to quit, but I may have to if I don't make any money based on my account, and I'm going to have to turn this into more of a hobby, and you'll see me less maybe, but I probably won't quit. So I wear a lot of different things, and I show a lot of things, I haul a lot of things, I style a lot of different things. And somebody asked me, what is your style? Like, what would, if you had to categorize it, what is your style? And I honestly do struggle with, putting myself in a box and saying I am XYZ style and that's that. Because when I wake up in the morning, I dress how I feel. I'm a very organic dresser. I like to experiment because, for a long time I, shamed my own body because I'm very curvy and I like to cover it. So I'm trying to, still a work in progress, trying to break out of that and do more experiments and just dress how I feel. But how I feel normally lands on athleisure, like sweats and just jeans and sweatshirt, leggings, gym shoes, sneakers, boots, very tomboy and athletic look. And that just because it's, when I wake up and I'm grabbing things, it's like, okay, what's clean and what fits? And it's usually things that land in those categories. So that's kind of my style. A while ago, I mentioned that I was thinking about locking my hair, and that is a huge commitment. And so I'm still thinking. I don't know how quickly people usually decide if they're going to lock their hair, because it is a pretty permanent decision. I've seen people lock their hair and be able to comb it back out. I mean, they lose a significant amount of it and everything, and then they, but they're able to unlock it. My hair is so fine and so thin, like each strand breaks so easily. So if I do lock, if I decide I'm going to take it off, I'm going to have a teeny weeny afro to get it out. I'm going to have to cut it out. Or if I do comb it out, it's going to be so thin, like I'm going to have to end up cutting it anyway. So I have to be very, very sure that that's what I'm doing, and be very okay with, be sure that I'm okay with knowing that when I do take them out, I'm not going to have any hair left. I'm not there yet. So I'm still thinking. And then last question is, how often do I travel? And most of my travel is for work. I mean, it's very rare that I'm traveling for pleasure. I think maybe the last time I had a pleasure field trip was when I randomly flew across the country to go watch TV with my friend. I'm sure you remember that. Yes, I did fly over 2,000 miles just to go watch TV with my friend. But nonetheless, I travel, I would say 2 to 3 times per quarter, or 8 to 12 times per year. And it's a combination of, work trips and maybe 1 or 2, personal trips. Yeah, and I usually, I think for the most part, I usually take you all with me. So if you're interested, you can go and check my travel vlogs. If you're interested in travel, it's a very selective view of the travel experience, because when they're for business, you can feel that. It's all business oriented and just like really like office, airport, highway, few attractions, back in the airport. So it's pretty prescriptive in those trips. So if you're interested though, I have a whole library of travel trips that I'll share with you. So that brings us to the end of this long Q&A, getting to know me just a little bit better. Let me know if you have any additional questions that you were hoping that I answered that I didn't. Leave them in the comments down below. I'll be sure to answer, or I'll just bundle them all up and put it in another video. So you will see how this all plays out. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Bye.